been struggling with prioritising yourself and your self-care? We've got some steps for you to follow to help you to prioritise yourself and your self-care. Hi and welcome back to Good to Me's YouTube channel. I'm Shani Lewis, the founder of Good to Me. In this video we're going to be talking about prioritising yourself and your self-care. And I know when it comes down to having a self-care or being on a self-care journey, it can be really difficult, especially if you're starting out. So that's why in this video we've got some tips that are going to help you to prioritise yourself. A lot of the time when I talk to people about self-care or starting their self-care journey, a lot of the time they say, but I find it so difficult to prioritise myself, and that they've tried so many times. And a lot of the reasons why that could be is mainly because you might have not had that role model or that example of self-care or what it is and how important it is. So I'm here to help you with that today. There's actually a really good quote that can help sum up this whole situation, and maybe you can use that when you're struggling to prioritise yourself. So the quote is, if you don't have time, you don't have priorities. So think about the things that you're actually giving your time to. So there might be some things that you can think about that you might actually need to let go of and start to focus on the things that you really want to prioritise. A lot of the time when it comes down to people prioritising their self-care or anything really, it's usually time that's the difficulty. So really analyse the things that you're spending your time on, go through them and see what things maybe might not be so important or things that you could probably spend less time doing. Tip number 1 is block your time. When you're trying to set your priorities straight, blocking your time is so important. So before I was talking about how difficult it is usually when people are saying that they don't have any time, but it's important to go through the time or go through the things that you're spending your time on and block out time specifically for yourself and for your self-care. So what that might look like is maybe in your phone or in your diary, literally putting in maybe an hour. And if you don't have an hour to spare, then you can just start with half an hour or even 10 minutes. Blocking that time out and setting a reminder on your phone is really helpful. Tip number 2, that's going to be writing down your goal. Writing down your goal and making it clear. A lot of the time when we have priorities or goals that we want to achieve, we don't actually write it down. So I would definitely recommend you writing it down on a piece of paper, but if not, then you can use your phone, that's fine. But definitely having this piece of paper up somewhere that you can see it every day so it's clear and it's that reminder for you. Also, you can use other things like vision boards. They're really, really helpful. So you can actually cut out different pieces from a magazine, newspaper, words, print them off, stick them down on a piece of paper. I would probably say an A3 size. Get that up somewhere that you're going to see it every day to just motivate you and remind you of your priority or priorities. Tip 3. Set your boundaries. It's important when we're prioritising things that are really important to us that we kind of have boundaries set in place, especially because during those times it's most likely that other things will creep up and creep into its way. So it's important that you set boundaries to think about what things you can stay, what things can't stay, how long you're going to spend on certain things. And I think also creating a schedule is very important, or routine during this time is really, really helpful when you're trying to prioritize something, especially if it's for the first time. It just helps that habit to form, really. Oh yes, and I've got another tip for you. So if you're really struggling with prioritizing yourself and the whole motivation side of things, I've got a little exercise for you to do. So if you get yourself a pen and paper, and write this down. So I want you to imagine that you've reached all your self-care goals and you've been practicing self-care so well for a whole year. So imagine yourself at the end of this year and how you'll feel. So what will you be doing? How will you feel? what will be around you. Think about that and really visualize yourself and how you'll be at the end of the year, and use that as your motivation. I really hope this video helps you, and make sure you comment below with what tip you found really helpful. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe to this YouTube channel for much more videos about mental health and self-care. Thanks for watching.